Hey, fellow YouTubers. Welcome to another edition of Seekers of the Supernatural. I'm your moderator, Tony Spera. I'm here at the Warren's house. Actually, it's our house now. We inherited it, Judy did, and the museum. And I got the cat here behind me. This is Rosebud. This is Rosebud. Hey, Rosebud, say hi to everybody. Say hi, Rosebud. Okay, so guys, I'm going to go out to the cemetery, to the Stepney graveyard. That's where Ed and Lorraine are buried. That's where Judy and I are going to be buried too. And that's where Ed and Lorraine's grandson, Corey's, buried also. I'm going to go there and show you a little bit, again, about the monument. And then I'm going to talk about EVP'S and psychic photography, how to take EVPs safely, and how to get psychic photos in a safe manner. Anytime you do anything, you have to prepare for it, you know. You have to, first of all, know what you're doing, have an education about what you're doing. Don't just go willy-nilly into something. It's like in anything you do, you know. If you want to race a car, you have to do a little training on how to race. You want to be a good baseball player, you have to know how to play the game, right? And the rules. Safety first, right? When you're doing certain things. So safety is important. I'm going to be in the graveyard, but then I'm going to walk over to the Our Lady of the Rosary Chapel. And that is where many exorcisms were performed by Bishop Robert McKenna, who's a traditional Catholic priest. That means that he did not follow the rulings of the 1962 Vatican Council. They call it Vatican II, where they changed the rules of the church as far as masses are concerned. So now we have most of the masses in English, and there's singing along with it, and there's shaking of hands, giving a peace offering to others in the church, in the Catholic Church. But the traditional church, like when I was a kid growing up, was different. It was all in Latin. And I used to listen, listen for my name in the Mass when he spoke, because in one part of the Mass, the priest would say, Spera in Deo, which is hope in God. My name means hope in Latin. So it's kind of weird. I used to just sit there waiting for him to say Spera in Deo so I could hear my name. Kind of stupid, I guess. But I'm going to go out to the graveyard now. I'm going to walk around, show you how to take EVPs, electronic voice phenomena, safely, and how to take psychic photographs safely. And then I'm going to show you the outside exterior of the Our Lady of the Rosary Chapel, where many, many exorcisms were performed, including the Bill Ramsey werewolf, was brought from England. He came to the United States and was at that very church where an exorcism was performed over him, successfully, I might add. So I'm on my way. Okay, we're heading out to the cemetery. What I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about EVPs. I'm going to talk about psychic photography. I'm going to talk about ghosts, spirits, why a ghost would be in a cemetery. Talk about a lot of things. But I'm going to show you the safe way to do it. The safe way to investigate and gather information and gather evidence. Because that's the job of a paranormal investigator, is to gather evidence. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, this is the road leading from Lorraine's home, Lorraine and Ed's house. Well, it's our house now, but I still like to call it Lorraine's house. And now we're going to go on to the roadway here. It's a dangerous place to pull out, because cars come around the corner so fast. Here we go. I'm going to nail it. I'm going to nail my C8 Corvette. I wish it was a C8 Corvette, but it's not. It's a 2018 Honda CRV. Still has some get up and go to it. You see how fast these cars are going by me? I don't know if you can tell. But this road here is pretty dangerous. We're pulling up here to the center of, actually it's called Stepney. This is a small little subsection of Monroe. And I'm going to be turning here to go to the cemetery. This is not the Union, this is the Stepney Cemetery. And this is an old cemetery also. Probably the 1760s, 1770s. It was made. And after I bring you through here, and we walk through here, I'm going to show you the Our Lady of the Rosary Chapel, where a lot of exorcisms have been done. Okay, here's the monument to Ed and Lorraine, and I'll talk a little bit about it. Ed Warren Miney, his real last name was Miney, born September 7th, 1926, and died August 23rd, 06. His beloved wife, Lorraine Rita Moran, born January 31st, 1927, passed away on April 18th, 2019. There's a lot of people, there's a lot of things that people have left here. They leave stones. They leave crystals, rocks, money. This is Ed's U.S. Navy footstone marker. And here's all the flowers here. On the side here it says New England Society for Psychic Research. Founded in 1952 by Ed and Lorraine Warren. Here is a depiction of St. Michael the Archangel, engraved with St. Michael having his foot on the head of the devil. And here it says, St. Michael the Archangel, defend us in battle, be our protection against the wickedness and snares of the devil. May God rebuke him, we humbly pray. And do thou, O Prince of the heavenly host, by the divine power of God, cast into hell Satan and all the evil spirits who roam throughout the world seeking the ruin of souls. Amen. And then there's reference to the song Sunday, Monday, and Always by Bing Crosby, and underneath that it says their hearts were full of spring. Another song that Ed liked. But now I'm going to talk a little bit, ladies and gentlemen, about taking EVPs in a graveyard. What you need to do is protect yourself. You need to protect yourself and your aura with a white light from God. And how do you do that? You close your eyes. You envision yourself in a bright, glowing white light all around your body. You ask God for protection from anything that's evil, demonic, inhuman. Anything that tries to harm you. Ask God for his protection and love from any spirits trying to come through to attack. What you would do is you would take your recorder, could be any kind of recorder, digital. It could be the Tascam digital recorders they have out now, and the Sonys. It could be an old cassette recorder. Doesn't matter. It could be your phone. And what you do is you walk throughout the graveyard, look for a stone or a place that intrigues you, and then just simply put your phone down or your recorder down at the gravestone, have it on record, and then ask a question. For instance, is there a spirit here? Wait 15, 20 seconds, then ask another question. Do you have a message for me? Wait another 15 or 20. Then you say, maybe, what is your name? Or, how did you die? Or any kind of question that comes to your mind that's important, to try to see if they would come through. And that's how you would do it. You would just wait 15 or 20 seconds, allowing the spirit to answer you. Now, to take a psychic photograph, you would have to have it on a clear night, normally at night, clear, crisp night, no fog, no rain, no snow, and you would do it, you know, you're not smoking a cigarette, you're not in the cold air where you can see your breath, you're not near car exhaust, those kinds of things. You want to make in your mind absolutely clear that what you get, if you get anything, is going to be from something paranormal, not natural like car exhaust or your breath. You would do almost the same thing that I said about the photos, the recordings. You would find a location in the graveyard that intrigues you. It could be a grave marker, it could be anything. And then you just snap a photo. You snap the photo and then you don't move your camera. Wait 15 or 20 seconds, take another photo. Do that 3 or 4 times, because sometimes that's how long it might take for the spirit to manifest itself in some way to you. And you may grab something on your digital media. That's how we used to do it with film. We would take that photograph, not move the camera, and then not ask a question, but just look in the area and take a second photograph and a third. But back in the day, though, we had to have the film developed to see if there's anything on it. But now you could just instantly see through your digital media. Now I'm going to walk over to the, take you over to the front of the Our Lady of the Rosary Chapel. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the Our Lady of the Rosary Chapel. This is where many exorcisms were done by Ed Warren and Lorraine Warren. Well, not by them, but they brought the victims here to be exorcised by Bishop Robert McKenna, traditional Catholic priest. One of them was Bill Ramsey, the werewolf. That there is a video on YouTube that I have on my channel of Bill Ramsey and many others who were brought here to be exorcised. Now, traditional Catholic priest is pre-Vatican II. In other words, the whole Mass is said in Latin. It didn't go along with the Vatican II Council's changes. But this is it. And it's a beautiful chapel inside. And the priest here that's here today is very pious. And he's very holy, and he's also able to do exorcisms. And we've done several here already. And we have some more exorcisms upcoming. But this is the place that Ed and Lorraine used just about exclusively to have people brought here to be exorcised. This is a brick that we had donated, in Ed's name, Judy and I. It says Ed Warren, Dad, Judy and Tony Spera. Over here is from Lorraine. Ed Warren, all my love, your Lorraine. This is at the gazebo here in Monroe. It's a beautiful little town. This is the Stepney Green, a subsection of Monroe. And here's the chapel across the street right there. It's beautiful here. There's Country Pizza right there. That's where Ed and Lorraine always used to go and have pizza, and Ed would order a pizza, small cheese pizza. That was Ed's biggie. And Lorraine always, not always, but sometimes would buy linguine with the white clam sauce. So there you have it, guys. The way to take EVPs and the way to take psychic photography. So the recap: you always do this, though, I forgot to mention, you always do this alone or with one other person. It's best, though, alone, because if you do it with other people, if you pick up something on your EVP recorder, somebody's inevitably going to say, oh, that was so-and-so whispering. That was so-and-so talking in the background. But if you're there alone and you hear something on the EVP when you ask a question, you'll know it's not some other person. You know it's a spirit. And this photography is also the best to go alone because the spirit wants to project to you, especially one person, rather than trying to project themselves to many different people. So it's always better to go alone. But if you're a female, if you're a woman, I wouldn't recommend going into a graveyard alone. Bring your boyfriend or your husband with you as a backup. I mean, really, you have to use common sense, So anyway, that's it. How to take EVPs, how to take psychophotography, how to protect yourself, the white light around your body, around your aura. That's the way to do it. And ask with faith God to protect you. So until next time, I'm Tony Spera. Thanks and good night. Or goodbye. It's not nighttime. Goodbye.